The point is that there's some games you don't get to play unless you're all in.
I want to be like all in. If it doesn't work, but at least I can look back and be like, you tried your best.
No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting.
And if you're not all in, you're going to get beat up in front of loads of people.
So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them, being fine with being mediocre.
I am not like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. I have something inside which is burning. And I look around and this life and everything I see is not for me. I'm supposed to be something different.
You could be the one in your family to change the trajectory of your bloodline. I'm the one in my family. I'm the one.
But someone I really respect said this. There are basically two kinds of people in life. They're winners and they're losers. And the definition is this. Losers take things that happen to them and that they feel inside that suck, and they wallow, and they use it for self or outward destruction. Winners take whatever they feel it, it sucks, and they transmute it into things that are good for themselves and for the world.
When you're obsessed with something, it doesn't require discipline because you can't wait to do it again. Mike Tyson said best, he said, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it.
If tomorrow never comes, how far would you go today? If tomorrow was not a guarantee, how far would you push? If you thought that today was your last opportunity to ever do the thing, how far would you go? If today was the last day you were ever going to work out, to ever be able to train for a certain event, how far would you push? If you were a football player in college and this is going to be the last game you're ever going to play, how far would you go? How fast would you run? How much would you sacrifice knowing you're never going to lace it up again? You know, my kids' lives are literally on the line. If I do not run at absolute 100%, how far would I dig in? How far would I go? Like, what does 100% look like? And a lot of people never touch it. They never understand their full capability, their full threshold, because they never reach it. They've never sit down, they've never connected mind and body and gone, what is 100? Like, what is absolutely everything?
Like, I want to wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go, come on, man, we're going running. Like, I want to see what you do when you're tired. Let me see how you push yourself. Come on, man, get up. Get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. The next day. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Keep going. How long can you maintain a positive attitude? Just doing it makes you do more. Like, do more hard shit makes you do more hard shit.
Yeah.
Understanding that you want it bad, so you're willing to put in the work and do things you don't want to do, it's what makes you have that the confidence that you know how to push through, and the mentality that I'm the type of dude to get done.
The Greek philosopher Epictetus once said that circumstances do not make the man or woman, they merely reveal him to himself. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you that counts. In the final analysis, your response to the adversity of life is the real measure of who you are and what you're made of.
If you want to be really great at something, you kind of have to be out of your f***ing mind, but you also have to have an iron will.
Yeah.
You don't want to work out every day.
Yeah.
There's going to be days you just want to eat cake and sleep.
Yeah.
But if you want to get past the guy who eats cake and sleeps, you don't eat cake and you don't sleep.
Yeah.
I've been suggesting to young men in particular, it's like, you want to get your life together? Take the path of maximal responsibility. Not because you should, even though you should. That's not why. It's because that's the pathway of maximal adventure. And that's a terrifying thing. There's no difference between that and the dragon and treasure stories that are, unbelievably archaic. The greatest possible treasure is to be found where the danger is most intense.
The next year is going to go by whether you're doing something about your life or not. The next 10 months are going to go by whether somebody is working to make change or whether they're not. You make those incremental changes, and then pretty soon in December you go, hey, I'm way better off than I was at the end of February. So shit, you made little changes and they all added up. And if you don't, by the end of the year, you're just in deeper.
The more you do things that are natural to you, the less competition you have. You escape competition through authenticity, by being your own self. If I had to summarize how to be successful in life in 2 words, I would just say productize yourself. That's it. Just figure out what it is that you naturally do that the world might want, that you can scale up and turn into a product, and it'll eventually be effortless for you. Yes, there's always work required, but it won't even feel like work to you. It'll feel like play to you. Modern society gives us that opportunity. If you were 2,000 years ago, you're born on a farm, your choices are very limited, right? You're going to do stuff on that farm. Now you can literally wake up and you can move to a different city. You can switch careers, you can switch jobs, you can change the people that you're with. You can change so many things about who you are and who you're with and what you're doing, that there is infinite opportunity out there for you, literally infinite. And so it's much better to treat this like a search function, to find the people who need you the most, to find the work that needs you the most, to find the place you're best suited to be at. And it's worthwhile to spend time in that exploration before diving into exploitation. The biggest mistake in a world with so many choices is premature commitment. If you prematurely commit to being a lawyer or a doctor, and now you've got 5 years invested into that, you might have just completely missed. You might just end up in the wrong profession, the wrong place, the wrong people for 30 years of your life grinding away. And yes, the best time to figure that out was before, but the second best time is now. So just change it.
Your brain needs pressure. It needs constant pressure. And stress and pressure is not a bad thing. We have this thing where we feel like stress is bad. It's bad for you. Bad. You need to relax, man. You need to chill. Stress will kill you. No, being bored will kill you. But I'd rather die under the stress than be bored and have nothing to do. So feeling that pressure, it makes your eyes pop open. It makes your brain focus. It makes you alert. It makes you want to live. It makes everything seem exciting to you because you've got to get things done.
I think a lot of people that are hyper ambitious come from a shitty environment.
And what is that connection?
I think it's probably wanting something better than you're experiencing and knowing that it's possible, that it's out there, and knowing the pain of living in the ghetto, or the pain of being on food stamps, the pain of poverty, and then the fact that when you're poor and you're young, you wonder whether or not you're going to have food. That's a scary thought for a child.
Yeah, that's motivating.
Yeah, it puts a kind of fire in you, you don't get a Mike Tyson if he grows up in Brentwood.
Yeah.
You get them when they grow up in Bedford-Stuyvesant. You have a life of pain, and then you got some pain to dish out after that.
My observation is the doers are the major thinkers. The people that really create the things that change this industry are both the thinker-doer in one person. Leonardo was the artist, but he also mixed all his own paints. He also was a fairly good chemist, knew about pigments, knew about human anatomy, and combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exceptional result.
All life form strives to the max of its potential except human beings. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. You never heard of a tree growing half as high as it could. No, trees don't grow half. A tree drives its roots as deep as it can, reaches as high as it can, produces every leaf it can, every fruit it possibly can. To the max. Every life form strives to the max, except human beings. Now, why not human beings? Jot this down. You've been given the dignity of choice. You're not a robot. You don't have to repeat this year the same as last year. You can tear up last year's plan, develop a new plan. So, the dignity of being a human being. Now, here's the choice on being a human being: to be part of all we were meant to be, or to be all, to strive for all, or half, or part, or some. The choice is up to you.
And it's that old expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It's an old expression, but it makes sense, because it doesn't mean that you can't be kind if you're strong. But it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak.
It all starts with who you are. I always tell our players, who you are is more important than what you do. How high you jump, how fast you run, because who you are is your character. And your character is an accumulation of your thoughts, your habits, and your priorities on a day-to-day basis, because those three things determine the choices you make. And the choices you make you who you are. Good guy, bad guy, hardworking, lazy, responsible, irresponsible. And it takes a certain amount of discipline to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to get done.
Like, there's people out there that are just working harder than everybody else, and they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
And that's their grind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and those people are super valuable because they change everybody's perspective of like what's possible, what to strive for, and what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really want to be a champion? Why? Because you just want to be cool? You want to be the coolest guy on the block? Like, you're not gonna win. You're gonna find some psychopath who just lives it.
Mm-hmm.
It's their whole life. And if it's not your whole life, get out.
And I was talking with my friend earlier this week, and he was like, well, what separated you on the football field? And I was like, there was part of me that was a psychopath out there because I was extremely hyper-competitive every day. I didn't feel like, okay, let's get to Sunday, and then now it's the time. Like, every day was the time. And every day is the time to give your best. And even if it's practice, do your best in practice. And I learned that in college. I got to treat this game like it matters more than anything. Well, when my teammates feel that, guess who else has to raise the bar? My teammates, because I'm bringing the juice every day. So that's what leaders do. Leaders don't have days off. They show up every day and they're like, I'm giving my best. Well, why? That's for me, great, but it's also gonna make them better. And then when they're better, we're better. And then we don't have to wait to Sunday to get better. We could get better on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because that's the competition. And then the season ends March, April, May, June. When no one's watching, what are we doing? And if we're all getting better, 5% better or 8% better, and they're not, well, over time, who wins?
Every time you wanted to quit, every time life tried to break you, you chose to stand tall. That's what makes you great. Today ain't just about a piece of paper. It's about the grind, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the prayers you whispered when nobody was watching. It's all about those moments when you could have folded, but you didn't. You see, the underdog story is the realest story there is. Because when you come from nothing, you appreciate everything. You hustle different, you love different, and you lead different. So today, I want you to do 3 things. Stay humble. Never forget where you came from. Stay hungry. Keep that fire in your soul. And stay true. Always be real with yourself and the world. Because the world don't need no more copies. It need originals. And trust me, ain't nobody else that can do what you do like you do.
I realized, man, if I want to be good, I gotta wake up in the morning, I gotta do the extra work. And I gotta show up when other guys aren't. And I've gotta learn, I've gotta continue to be open to learning. You know, I would complain all the time that the guys ahead of me were getting more opportunity than I was. There was a certain amount of repetitions in practice. The starter would get 20, the backup would get 10, and I would get 2. And I'd go in and I'd say, well, how can I ever get better? All these guys get all the reps and I only get 2. And he said, just go in there and focus with the 2 that you got and make them as perfect as you possibly can. So I said, okay. So that's what I did. They'd put me in for those 2. Man, I'd sprint in there like it was Super Bowl 49. I did really well with those 2 because I brought enthusiasm, I brought some energy, and I had a little more confidence in myself. And it went from 2 reps to getting 4 reps because those 2 were pretty good. And before you knew it, through this new attitude, through this new shift that Greg had said to me, you know, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're getting, not what anyone else is getting. Whenever you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You treat it like it's the Super Bowl. You treat it like it's game day. Go out there and treat practice like no one else does.
Let's do a what if.
What if what?
What if you lose?
I don't even see, I can't, my consciousness don't even elevate that thought.
Therefore, if it happens, you'd be distraught, crazed, what?
It's not my nature to allow that to happen. But I just don't even concentrate on that.
Or starting out, I think you got to find the thing that's the pain. And like, pain motivates significantly faster and stronger than pleasure does. Like, people are like, no, passion's the right way. It's like, point a gun at a family member, all of a sudden, 10 out of 10 motivation, pain. And so like, I think people should use their pain more. And if they don't have enough pain, then 1, maybe that's fine, and you're a dreamer, and that's okay. But I will tell you that a word that I read in my like 6-month journey between when I wanted to quit and when I actually quit, there was this word that just like pissed me off. And it was this in this self-help or entrepreneur book, and it said, there are entrepreneurs and there are wantrepreneurs. And I was like, and it was like, wantrepreneurs are people who read these books and don't do anything. And I was just like, I don't want to be one. I was like, I am one of these right now. And it just like felt so powerless.
And that was the difference between me and the other kids, is that they would go to chess practice, they would maybe even do their homework, but they weren't living and breathing sort of the game that in the way that I was. Like, I think about it all the time. Like, I'm thinking about the game while I'm sitting on this chair. Like, I'm still analyzing a game that I played today. Like, it never goes completely out of my mind. And I think a lot of very good chess players do that, but like casual chess players, no, of course.
And so many people just want it the easy way. I'm sorry, man. It's not. So what they start to do is they build this narrative of it's okay. When the narrative should be, you need to fucking work harder. You need to fucking discipline your mind better. We need to help people more than just saying it's okay. It's okay that you're not fucking willing to fucking help yourself out. That's not okay.
Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
That everything that you're worried about is going to be gone like that. The people that are criticizing you, they're going to be gone, you're going to be gone. All this hand-wringing worry and concern over how are people viewing me, and someone said something bad about me and you get so upset about it, is wasted time and energy. Marcus Aurelius says your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
Anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. Anything you want can happen and become a reality. The world is your oyster. That's all I tell people. It's this and it's heaven. While you're on earth, you got to take advantage of this.
A person can accomplish anything that they want. Most generally, we are in control of our own destiny.
If you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself.
The greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained.
Dream big dreams. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to imagine and fantasize about all your career goals and the kind of life you would really like to live. Think about the amount of money you would like to earn and have in your bank account. All self-made millionaires begin with a dream of something wonderful and different from what they have today.
Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of life change. Some people want to start with motivation, but here's the best motivation we've got going. The proof of our success.
No one thought in my family that, or even through my friends or through my mum and dad's friends, whoever was around us, no one thought that we'd ever be anything. No one thought that like our art could sell and we could make money that way and we could build careers that way.
What is the starting point?
One step at a time. Whether it's 10,000 steps or doing even a 20-minute workout, that's all people need to do to change. Because you'll start seeing results regardless of what position you're in right now. If you can just keep increasing incrementally what you're doing in terms of fitness or your business or however you like your sleep, whatever it is that you feel is not right, you'll see the change over time. It comes, and it takes a long time. It takes a really long time, but it happens.
It doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. If you don't want to live the lifestyle, then release yourself from the desire. To crave the result, but not the process, is to guarantee disappointment. You gotta want it more than you hate what it takes to get it. If you're willing to suck at anything for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people at most things.
Like, it is harder than we expect, but also the rewards may be also greater than we expect.
You need to love pain to be an athlete. And I know no pain, no this, whatever, all the, you know, the oh my, no, this is real. You need to love pain.
When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have.
Dedication, hard work, dedication, hard work. I'm a one-man army. One-man army. The world can go against me. I'm still come on top. I got God on my side.
How many times do you have to hear, if nothing changes, nothing changes? And yet, somehow we expect things to change. If you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change.
Everyone's like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life is turning around, looking in the mirror right now. That's later in life. And unless that turnaround is something in progression, later in life ain't gonna be anything different. Belief, when you turn around, you're gonna see something that put a smile on your face.
People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the f*** after it every daggone day.
Unchosen suffering is gonna happen, right? So the only thing that you can do is have some chosen suffering to prepare for it.
It's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can practice for the unchosen suffering. Do something that sucks every day.
Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. And you may be successful, and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you can go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen, no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what.
When your excuses make you feel a little bit better about the fact that you didn't execute on what you needed to execute on, then they can make you feel better, but they're not helping you.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the f*** over it. They no longer want you. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours.
Everyone does a few reps when the burn starts and they stop. No one goes the extra mile and keeps going. Like no one's in here right now. Why? Because it's Saturday evening, everyone's going to party, no one's in here, just me. You know, no one goes the extra mile. The thing about traffic jams, guys, there are no traffic jams in the last mile of the race. It's just you and your shadow. In the beginning, everybody's there. All the pretenders and the contenders, they're all there. But the last yard of life, the last mile of the journey, ain't nobody but you and your shadow. Traffic jams don't exist that far, because everyone else started giving up.
The easiest thing in life is to give up. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to.
People give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit.
Everything you do, you may have some support, you may not, but it's on you. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass
or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. But being a bad hurts.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. It's up to you.
I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way.
If we are obsessed with something and we truly pursue our passion with everything we have, regardless of anything else, if you are obsessed, work hard, put in the time, you will succeed.
If everybody who's like at the bottom and feels like they have nothing going for them, reframe that as I have nothing going for me, which also means that I have nothing to lose by taking action, it makes you a much more dangerous person. And I think that was the flip that I've had repeatedly shown to me in my life that allowed me to take the step that I was afraid to take.
Whatever I'm afraid to do, I do it. Anything I'm afraid of, I confront it. And that's my personality. Like right now, I'm scared to death. But as the fight gets closer, the less nervous I become because it's reality. And in reality, I'm invincible.
One of the strongest mental frames that has gotten me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. The harder it is, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero.
So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do.
You can fucking achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need great parents. You don't need like a private school. You don't need to have this humongous GPA and all this other shit. What you need is the one thing I talked about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not.
Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe.
I'm not good enough, smart enough. I'm not talented enough to do that. Some people are. Some people can start at 1. Some people don't have to start at all. If you lack talent, you can't sit back and say, I'll start in half an hour. I can't do that. I gotta start now. And after I get back from starting, I gotta start again.
The big challenge is when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. You have to challenge yourself to be consistent. Sometimes it's hard, but you have to do it. Because everyone wants to be Cristiano, but I give you the map. You think you will do it that? It's difficult. It's
the discipline.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sport, but in the life.
When you're obsessed with something, it doesn't require discipline because you can't wait to do it again. Mike Tyson said best, he said, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
So to everyone out there whose dreams are scaring you, whose dreams make you want to quit, just don't quit. It's good. Your dreams should be big. They should be scary. Just keep pushing through. I have this thing I say, champion mentality. It's not about winning. It's not about a trophy. It's about having no quit. It's about giving everything you have so that when you show up on game day, before the results are over, you're proud of yourself. You know the work you put in.
Work your ass off. There is no magic pill. There is no magic out there. You cannot get around. You have to work and work and work. I can tell you, it's all about the hard work that you put in.
Here's a great question for you to ask and answer over and over again. What one great thing would I dare to dream if I knew I could not fail? What one great thing would you dare to dream if you could not fail? If you were absolutely guaranteed of success in any one goal in life, large or small, short-term or long-term, what would it be?
Make a choice. You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
You have to build yourself into someone who can continue to execute regardless of what's happening around you.
So what keeps me going? I've quit several things. I know what's on the back end of quitting. It's a lifetime of thinking about why the did I do that? And I ain't doing that no more.
But if you constantly choose to take the path of easy and negotiate and compromise, you will have a hard life.
Because it's not about what you want, it's about what's required. And whether that's your best or not is irrelevant. It's just there's a price tag and you gotta be willing to pay for it, or you don't get the thing. And a lot of times it's not what you want.
Look, anybody can do things that are easy, you know? It's like, how do you behave when things are difficult or when the shit hits the fan?
The world is there for the taking for anyone who can learn from their mistakes, do what they say they were going to do, and stick with it, even if it's not sexy. What used to make a man acceptable now makes you extraordinary. The bar for winning has never been so low.
Hard work is the goal. If the goal is to work as hard as you possibly can, then the only real output we have is who we become along the way.
You have to work every single day. I think that's where your confidence comes from. That work that you do every single day is key, because that's what you're gonna be able to fall back on. And that's what you're gonna be able to rely on when push comes to shove.
We can either be hard on ourselves, we can either train ourselves, we can either put ourselves through hell, or we can let the world do it.
The world belongs to optimists. Because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will.
Whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation.
It takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact they're like, hey, you're not gonna hit it big. And guess what, a month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not gonna have hit it big yet. And they're gonna be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not gonna have hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're gonna feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
Every day when you get out of bed, life's standing right there to kick you in the fucking face, man. Life is gonna throw all kinds of crazy shit at you, right? And you have to be ready for it, and you gotta fucking deal with it. You can't curl up into a ball, you can't run away from it, you can't hide. You have to take all this shit head on.
You better go out there and do it yourself. You know, don't fucking wait around and wait for someone to hand deliver something. Go make it happen. You know, the fish don't just jump in the boat. If you wanna go catch them, go catch them. You know, throw that line in the water and go do some work. And if it doesn't work that day, do it again the next day.
Nobody cares. You know, at the end of the day, nobody cares. What we're going through, how your body feels, nobody cares. We gotta do our job.
You have to be all in. And if you're not all in, you're gonna get beat up in front of loads of people. That's just the way it goes.
Life is tough sometimes, and it's not fair. And it doesn't care sometimes. But you're gonna hold true to what you believe, and you're gonna hold true to who you are, and you're gonna be that person whether it's easy or it's not.
I wanna be all in. If it doesn't work, but at least I can look back and be like, you tried your best. And that's all that anybody can ever ask, is that you tried your best. I want to tick every single box so that in 5 years or 10 years, I can look back and go, look, you tried your best. Yeah. And that's all I can do.
That means the harder it is, the more epic the story. By consequence, the more epic the hero.
You learn nothing from success. Nothing. You learn everything from the failures. And this is the thing that annoys me about the state that the world is in at the moment, is no one talks about failure anymore. Whereas with success, everyone shouts about it, but there's nothing in success. Success happens from failing hundreds of times.
I didn't teach myself victory first. I taught myself failure. I taught myself how to fail. And people are like, that's so depressing. Is it? When you're 300 pounds and you can't read and write and you're f***ed up, you know how many times you're gonna fail on that process? So if you don't know how to fail, there is no victory.
If you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown.
Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
Everybody has a turn back moment. You have a moment where you could go forward or you can give up. But the thing you have to keep in mind before you give up is that if you give up, the guarantee is it will never happen. That's the guarantee of quitting, that it will never happen no way under the sun. The only way the possibility remains that it can happen is if you never give up no matter what.
Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation.
You want to be the one that says, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself. The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something.
If you want something, go get it. You really can solve a lot of male problems by getting in shape and making money. You still have problems. They're just smaller and you have more resources to handle them. The world is there for the taking for anyone who can learn from their mistakes, do what they say they were going to do, and stick with it, even if it's not sexy. What used to make a man acceptable now makes you extraordinary. The bar for winning has never been so low.
All I have to do is figure out what I need to do, and figuring it out becomes the option. And so then I have clarity on the one thing that I need to do to pull myself out of this moment of sadness.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say.
But when people tell me I can't do something, it makes me just want to do it more. Everything in my body just wants to go, Hugh, I obviously can.
For your 20s, work day and night.
Really?
Do as many things, learn as much as you can, fail as often as possible.
What about work-life balance in your 20s?
Fuck it. Because that's the time to put in the hard work. Your work-life balance actually comes out later.
Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. What that means is when that alarm clock goes off, your feelings gotta go away.
If you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else because most people are overweight, they're distracted, they're poor, they have so few skills because it has never been easier to start a business, to make money, to get in shape. It's just also never been easier to do nothing.
It's never too late. If you're alive, you can get better. If you're alive right now, you can improve your condition. You can improve your situation, and it starts with improving the way you think. That's the most important thing. The way you think of things, you've got to change that.
If people are succeeding, even slightly, in a job that they hate, think about how good you could be if it was something that you really, really cared about.
Right.
Think about how amazing you could be if you pursued something that you genuinely had existential simpatico with.
Right.
As opposed to something that you detest.
If you have to ask how to get motivated to go to the gym, you don't need to be going to the gym. You don't want it enough.
Maybe you're a piece of shit. Maybe you want to be nobody. Maybe you're happy exactly where you are in life, because obviously you are. Maybe you don't have the determination to be somebody better than who you are.
People that have no problem showing up to the gym are the people that want to be there.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start.
That pain you feel, that's the pain of success. You must be willing to shoulder that pain to get to success. Success is something that's a very lonely path in this world, because few are willing to make that down payment of pain for that future of success, a better life. Very few are, because we don't want to be normal. Normality is what weak people call living. I call it death.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment.
Do the best you can. These are years that you can't get back. Saddest thing in life is wasted talent, guys.
I'm not talented. It was life and death. Either you live or you die. Which one do you want, Tom? That was the decision. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something, not even yourself. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want.